In a town, there lived a cat with her 3 children. This cat was known as Zenat because this cat was very old and wise. Not only was she busy with household chores all the time, but she decorated her house in such a way that the onlookers were surprised that children could be present in that house. Because children usually spoil all the decoration and cleanliness of the house with mischief. Because of Zenat's good taste in decoration and good handling of objects, often the neighboring cats would come to her and get good advice from her. Zenat was a clean housekeeper as well as having good morals. She would listen to every visitor very carefully, and after understanding the matter thoroughly, she would give reasonable advice to him. Zenat did not like to show off, nor did she want people to flatter or praise her. Zenat Jannati was nice and clean, and her 3 children were equally dirty and mischievous. They used to do stupid things all the time and return home after doing some damage. Zenat used to explain and advise them very calmly, which had no effect on the children. He used to take unfair advantage of his mother's gentle attitude. The 3 children not only did not care about the mother's words, but they also used to fight and argue with each other. Zenat would make them sit next to her and gently explain that good children do not fight and quarrel but live with love and respect. They help each other well and do housework diligently. They play together, study together, and live together. Zenat's children listened to their mother's advice with bowed necks, and as soon as the mother was busy with some other work, they would return to their old ways. Zenat was also very angry with them, but she did not say anything to them, thinking that they were still children. When they grew up, they would become wiser on their own. Once upon a time, when the day of Eid came near, Zenat sewed beautiful clothes for the children and bought new shoes. The children were also very restless on the arrival of Eid. When the day of Eid came, Zenat first heated the water and bathed the children thoroughly, so that all the mud sticking to their body is washed well. After bathing all the children in turn, Zenat dried their bodies with towels and dressed them in new clothes. After applying powder to the body, Zenat put beautiful hats on the children's heads. The children were clean and looked very cute. Zenat strongly urged all the children to take special care of their clothes while going out. Never play or pull each other in the mud, as this will tear their new clothes. The children promised that they would remember all their mother's advice and not do any such thing, from which they had to bear the shame. The 3 children left the house wearing new clothes and reached the nearby garden. He jumped well in the garden. Sometimes they would catch colorful butterflies, and sometimes they would break flowers and throw their leaves in the air. He was engaged in the same game all day long. He took great care of his clothes so that they do not get dirty or damaged while playing. The 3 decided together that now they should go back home to have food. He left for his house in the corridor of the garden and shouting Udham. When they reached home, they found their mother cooking. Zenat breathed a sigh of relief seeing the children's dress as it looked clean. He praised the children for keeping their clothes clean and urged them to do the same in future. The children were very happy to hear the praise from the mother and promised to keep the clothes clean in the future. When they asked their mother for food, Zenat asked them to wait for some time, as it was still some time before the food was ready. The 3 children came out and told the mother that they were sitting at the door of the house, and when the food was ready she should call them. Zenat allowed them to sit outside and quickly started cooking herself. The 3 children were sitting on the wall near the door outside the house playing swans when suddenly 3 big white ducks appeared from one side. They were walking happily. Big scars were visible on their white skin. They were also celebrating the joy of Eid and were walking in a row singing a sweet song. When the 3 children looked at him, they started laughing and joking among themselves. The ducks saw them laughing and stopped and asked what they were laughing at. The children laughed and said, "Don't they have new clothes that they are walking around naked on the day of Eid?" The ducks were angry to hear that they were making fun of their white-skinned bodies and preferring worldly clothes to beautiful natural clothes. He decided to teach the 3 children a lesson. Said a duck, "We are water animals, what do we have to do with clothes? Clothes get destroyed as soon as they go into the water." Children started laughing after hearing this. The second duck said that they have very nice clothes. Can they show them for a while? The children were surprised to hear this and asked what they would do with their clothes. The duck said that he wants to wear his clothes and see how he looks. One of the children took off his hat and threw it at the duck. The duck put the hat on his head, and the 3 children laughed uncontrollably at his style. The other child took off his shirt and moved it toward the duck. The duck put on a shirt that was wide open. He looked very funny wearing the shirt. The children started laughing after seeing her funny dress. In this way, the children handed over all the clothes to the ducks one by one. The ducks dressed up as children, played tricks on the ground, performed stunts, and performed many tricks. Seeing their spectacles, the children were feeling bad. Laughter was not taking the name of closure. The ducks made such a mess of the kittens' clothes that they could not even be seen, while the children were so lost in their frolics that they did not notice their movements, that they did not even realize that the ducks had stolen their new and dear clothes have been destroyed. The ducks threw the clothes on the ground and went on their way in a row. The children were bursting with laughter seeing them walking away. After some time, the ducks disappeared from their sight. It was not long before Zinat came out of the house and called out to the children that the food was ready. When Zinat's eyes fell on the children, she was surprised and worried about not seeing their clothes and asked them about the clothes. When the children thought of clothes, they looked at the ground. Their clothes were lying in the mud. They would sometimes look at their clothes and sometimes at the lost path of the ducks. They understood what game the ducks had played with them, but what could they do now? Time was out of their hands. When Zenat saw all this, he raised his stick in anger and took such news of the children that they remembered their forgotten grandmother.